themselves, even for NONGSHIM REDFORCE, and you can't count out NONGSHIM REDFORCE in these types of games, even if they didn't do well during the group stages, because they are a team that thrives on best of sevens, even with this new lineup that they have. So Dominator Esports, they're going to be starting on with the ban for themselves. What are they going to be securing? They still have a lot on their pocket that they could do here, that they could use in order for them to win. Oh, they took off the Guanyu because they used it during the last game.
Yeah, I think that this is a good idea, just to kind of take that away, because it's all about that team fight and getting to that back line, that angle. It kind of makes you always worried when you're walking down those alleyways in the dark ones, because you could get jumped at a moment's notice. So this is a time for Dominator Sports realizing that, hey, let's just kind of attack or repel as much as possible, take away some of these heroes like the Liang. This is a nice 2 bans here by Dominator.
Oh yeah, they're going to be taking it. Oh, that's why. Okay.
Oh.
That's the reason why they banned, they took that out, the Liang, because they're going to be going for the Luna. But remember, NONGSHIM REDFORCE is one of those teams that picks up the Heartseeker whenever they see a Luna, a Jing, a Pei on the other side. So that could be an option here for NONGSHIM.
A lot of opportunities still, but this is basically like a statement game where TNX is just like, give me my Luna, let me shine, let me fly, right? And he's going to be aggressive, and at the same time, NONGSHIM REDFORCE, now they need to respond to this, because they need to figure out how to just lock her down, because the Luna, when it gets to that back line, you're going to have a tough time.
Yeah, and they have to think about what they're going to be picking here. I love the Report Datu here, just getting picked from the side of Dominator Esports, because there were a lot of successes from a Zhangfei or from a Lapu Lapu that was because of a great ultimate, and these targets are going to be good targets for him to latch onto to get that good Raging Sea.
Yeah, if they're able to hit that one, I mean, it would be the perfect counter initiation to really kind of go into that fight. But it looks like they're going to go with a Flowborn Marksman to kind of deal with this Arlie. Is that the best lane matchup for you? Like, are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I am happy whenever there's an Arlie on the other side. I think Flowborn Marksman is one of those marksmen together with Erin, with Chano, that could bully out an Arlie, at least until level 4, because she's really good at those moments with her S2.
Okay, all right. No, I do think it
Are
has
you
a lot
not
of play.
confident about it?
No, I'm okay with it. I mean, look, when CC's playing it, but you're going up against Siri as well, this is another good lane matchup. And you want whatever sort of edge you can get. And I think that, you know, CC is more than up to the task. Plus, you have the Refart Datu to kind of help back you up. And that's why NONGSHIM had to go with the Diadea to really help support the Parasola in this one.
Yeah, expectations here for NONGSHIM REDFORCE, they're going to be switching up the lanes for sure, so that they don't have to fight the Flowborn Marksman matchup, and they're going to have like a good wave clear. There you go. A mid laner that doesn't need a lot of help whenever she's on lane. So yeah, I think the Silk Weaver is going to be good if they put her down against the Flowborn Marksman.
Yeah, it could be annoying to deal. I mean, this Silk Weaver is going to be in play to not only lock down the Moonblade, but to get on top of that Flowborn Marksman if he's able to get there. But Dominate Esports go stuns galore, have that mobility with the Seafarer as well with that boat. And now you have the Zhao, which could really, you know, has been the counter to the Parasola. It's done quite well against this hero.
Yeah, Breezeheart has been so good as a counter for the Arlie together with the Diadea too. So this is going to be a problem for them once the game goes on. But Silk Weaver also has been such a great counter for most assassins. As long as you hit her Silky Imprint, that is usually a death sentence for most assassins. So it's going to be up to Illusion how he plays against Tian X in this game.
Yeah, and also kind of having Namu with that Bitter Farewell to potentially lock down Moonblade to make it a little bit easier to hit that Silk Imprint if they're able to do that. But on the other end, Dominator Esports, they have CC galore. This is a tough lineup to deal with. They need to ensure that Haku is, again, frontlining, staying alive, and having a decent amount of sustain, because he could get potentially stun locked.
Yeah, it's going to be hard here for Haku. Nobody's going to pave the way for him to go in. And that's usually what you do with an Ogren, right? You need to have somebody to start the fight for you so that you can just walk in to the team fight. If not, you're just gonna be walking into a meteor storm. Like, you're gonna get hit twice already before you can even get close to the Breeze Heart.
Yeah, actually, that's the biggest thing, right? Like the positioning and the way that they have so many guys that's like, okay, you jump on me. They have like 3 other people that be like, okay, fine, I can stun lock, I can save my teammate. They all kind of essentially do the same thing. Their counter initiation is going to be on point, but it's going to really start with the Luna, right? Is TNX able to jump and get to the back line, and then the stun locks are going to happen.
Yeah, it's a time for them to come back here for the side of Dominator. They lost the last game against NONGSHIM REDFORCE, but I think this lineup from them is a lot better to work with, especially against the lineup that NONGSHIM REDFORCE had. They do have a lot of ways to counter TMT with this lineup, but TMT, this is much easier to pull off, and that is it. Everybody, this is going to be game number 3. We're going to be starting this. It's almost like a best of 5 again because it's 1-1 already. Dominator versus NONGSHIM REDFORCE. It's time for them to show us who gets the advantage again.
Yeah, and this is going to be the series that we wanted, right? We wanted it to be close. We wanted NONGSHIM to find ways to bounce back. They have, as they go into this game 3, they have a little bit of momentum. But if we're talking about these drafts, who are you giving the edge to right there?
I'm giving the edge to Dominator for this lineup. I do love their composition a lot more because they can fight from different layers, but NONGSHIM knows how to play around this because they know that TNX is going to have a hard time in the early game. Delay them as much as they can. They got the boards a while ago, so that's enough work at this point in the game.
Yeah, and look at how NONGSHIM right now are threatening the blue. I mean, just contesting. You don't have to really take the blue away. You're just making it a little uncomfortable for TNX because, see, he is so blue hungry. He needs to ensure that he gets that. If NONGSHIM were to steal that away, you're taking away a lot of the efficiency. But while you like the Dominator lineup, at the same time, you're looking at the NONGSHIM one. And this is their tried and true. This is a roster that they've been playing. This lineup that they like in 2025. It is very NONGSHIM in that sense. You can't really, count out HOK on this offense.
Yeah, we have 2 Weavers on the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE. We have the Silk Weaver, we have the Bond Weaver, and they are going to be going hand in hand here and going to be weaving the things in their favor here for the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE. And looking like Illusion got his first hit from the Silky Imprint. That's looking great.
Yeah, and Illusion will play his stock standard like the second roamer, just looking for setup more than anything else, and ensure that the rest of the team can kind of get those kills, because Haku and Siri, they're going to need all of the farm, and they're going to need it fast, especially against Dominator.
Yeah, they're trying to get the game as fast as they could, right? Because what they need to do here is to make sure that Illusion doesn't really need a lot of resources though, because you could just use the Silky Imprint on most team fights and job stun for him most of the time. So NONGSHIM is just going to be dictating the early phases of the game because TNX can't hold the candle to the lineup of NONGSHIM this early.
Yeah, they have a better early game lineup, NONGSHIM that is. So that's definitely going to help them, but it's going to also accelerate the speed of the Ogren because you have that early game spike. So this is a moment where he gets to that mid game, and is Dominator going to be strong enough to really fight at that moment? Almost gets the jump.
Yeah, that was a risky flash from Illusion. Nice attempt here for him to go for that, because if that hit, that could have been a really great one, but it was still a very confident move from NONGSHIM REDFORCE, just giving out all the things. The Raging Seed, the knockup was able to hit, but they're still getting the heals anyway, and that is one shot to the board here for TMT with a first blood.
I mean, Illusion, one good thing that NONGSHIM did was that they split up. They knew something was astray. Yeah. They called the boat. Tufts had left the lane. He's definitely going to be on the boat somewhere. So somebody has to go in. They spread out. Unfortunately for Illusion, he face-checked that boat into his face, and he pays with his life, giving up first blood. But again, it started with that attempt, and they stuck around. And that counter initiation, that long sustaining fight, is going to be in favor of Dominator.
Yeah, that's an okay trade, right? For NONGSHIM REDFORCE, they just lost Illusion. They didn't lose anything else. They still got their lanes anyway. And he tanked that just so the other 2 would be able to get away and still get their farms on the board. And doesn't need a lot of resources, as we said a while ago.
Yeah,
Retell,
not really about
teleporting. What? He even forced the set sail out of Tufts. He was teleporting in front of him and doesn't even care. He has 4 members right here from the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE. They are not even gonna attempt it because TNX is not here.
Yeah, no attempt at that point. I mean, they would have been walking around. You'd think that they would try to go, but Haku obviously is not going to give that one up. So NONGSHIM right now, they needed that, right? They're down about 600 gold, which is, we were talking about they had the early game spike, but right now they are behind.
That was funny. The tussle on the top lane was really funny because Retell was just teleporting in front. If Tufts just let him do his thing, that could have been way better. But right now, they're going to do their thing. The Raging Sea was able to slow them down, and now they're going to try to go for the chase down. What a save from L here.
Oh, L has been on point, you know, this game. I mean, the amount of control that he had is like, they had a chance to go for CC. He was looking very low. Haku had his eyes on him, and it was attempting to go for it. But L with the save, just too much.
Yeah, and even Gerald got killed here because of the dive coming in from Siri and Namu. And L, man, he was hitting his shots with the Tongfei a while ago, and now you give him another one that does almost a lot of the engages again. That is so good. He hits 3 people with it a while ago.
Yeah, and taking that one down. I mean, this is the kills are slightly in favor of Dominator, but it's all about the net worth. I mean, Haku hasn't hit that mark, but he's left largely alone. NONGSHIM right now are trying to ensure that Siri has a good game too, so they're sticking around. They're using the buddy system to ensure that Siri gets that farm.
Yeah, and from what we're seeing here, Venomous Stab already has been built by Gerald. They're gonna go, oh, and flash! And Tufts is gonna be the target with a set sail. Still got the knock-up, Sprightling boost just to go for the shield. They use all their ultimates. Time for them to go. Went in for the flash with the Raging Sea. But that is a nice attempt here from NONGSHIM. It was just Tufts was able to get away.
All right, if we were in our ranked games and we were trying to go for a 5-man, you know, ambush onto Tufts, we would have all died together, right? We would not have retreated. There's only going forwards. There's no going backwards at that point. Right?
There's nowhere to go but forward.
Exactly, right? And NONGSHIM, the perfect disengage. Understanding that, hey, we tried, we missed it, he's gonna survive, we need to stay alive, and they barely do on that one. Because the Raging Sea was actually pretty close.
Yeah, we're gonna be trying again here. Right now, on the middle, they're still looking for TNX here, but he is very afraid of Illusion's presence here because one Silky Imprint could be the end of it. But Siri, in the position, throws him back away, but was still able to dash. The Raging Sea was there to able to help him right now, and now they still get the kill. TNX, but on the backline, Tufts doing a work of his own, and he's doing such magic. Haku is left alone, doesn't have the path of passing to pass out of this, but he was still able to get away anyway. 1-for-1 for now.
Yeah, but Siri going down, that is absolutely huge. Tufts right now is becoming this monster. He is very tanky. Even with 3 members of NONGSHIM trying to deal with it, Tufts just focuses on Siri, ensures he gets the kill, and then there's really no way to deal with Tufts because they're lacking damage. It's all Haku and Siri in this game.
Yeah. From what we're seeing here from NONGSHIM, they even went with the Ardent Dominator route for Illusion, just so he doesn't get picked off once somebody drops on him. So now, seeing here at the bottom, Retell gonna go for the fight here, is using the set sail, tanks the ult, and the AR are gonna be continuing to go for the fight because here it comes Haku fighting against 4. They're gonna be coming in. They got the stun on him. He's not gonna move, and DMT takes the kill.
Yeah, that was a big mistake. I mean, Haku, understand, he needs to just give that up. There's no reason to stick around. Yes, you lose your blue. It sucks. But dying is even worse. And now you've lost the bottom T2. Dominator completely making him pay for that mistake.
Remember, Retell has the flash here. He could still go in for an engage. Siri is dodging that set sail and even the frigid charge from a while ago. They're just gonna back off.
This is a tough one for NONGSHIM to have to come back from. I mean, this is a 3K net worth lead in favor of Dominator, but the state of the game and the way Dominator are playing, this lineup is so tough to deal with. You jump on one, they have the rest coming on a boat, they have the Raging Sea. You have so much counter initiation that you really can't take the fight that you want.
Yeah, with Jerl and L playing this way, hitting like multiple targets every time, it's gonna be scary, but Rattel went in with a Truth Mantra, but onto the backline, they still go, they still have advantage. The Meteor Storm is just a barrier in front of everyone. They can't even get close, and onto the backline they go. Illusion's gonna be next on the chopping block, and they're going down one by one in no particular order. Namu is the last one standing, an ace coming in from DMT, and they are gonna go for the finish. Dominator just gets one more on their belt. They just want to finish this. They are just gonna go. Truth Mantra is available, but they're not even gonna get close. They get a kill on one, but at what cost? The game ends and Dominator takes it in the end.
Yeah, just too strong in the end. Dominator, and this is kind of why we're like, there are question marks on the NONGSHIM side, because Rattel, while he did try to make that initiation with that truth, but the rest of the squad weren't on the same page. They weren't there to help support, and then once it's a botched initiation, everything crumbles from that point. You were not at that critical mass where you're able to just steamroll people. Haku's not that tanky guy. He was just trying to stay alive. There was a tough spot for them to be in, and all because Rattel went a little too early on that one, and they paid with their lives.
Yeah, for me, I think Breezehart is such a great pick, especially with their draft that they went for on the side of the NONGSHIM REDFORCE here. Xiao Qiao is just so strong. Once you go in, even if it's a failed attempt for the side of NONGSHIM, if it's successful, once he pops the Meteor Storm, the game is over. They have a barrier in front of them. How are you going to get close?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's that. I mean, you had the boat as well as the Raging Sea. These are, you know, like there's so many AoE stuns that it was so hard to fight into, right? Even if you were to be able to get that pull, they weren't able to get those kills, and NONGSHIM were like completely outdrafted in this one.
Yeah, and as we said a while ago, right? The problem with their lineup on the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE, the truth is gonna come in. Who is gonna follow up? The follow-up is a bit slower, which is the reason why it's hard for them to even just get through or help out Rattel whenever he gets like a good Truth Mantra. So yeah, that was a problem for the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE, and TMT has all the answers, all the crowd controls, just to stop everybody from just diving in.
Yeah, they had everything, and that's the biggest takeaway, right? I mean, Tuff's counter initiation, just constantly, his boats were on fire. Really, you know, we're kind of seeing Sun Tzu. He had fallen off towards the end of 2025.
Not on fire.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's really done well in this one, and he's putting Sun Tzu back on the map on this.
Yeah, that's true. But it was on water, not on fire. So just a bit of a correction there. No, I'm joking. Because it was great seeing Tubbs just in his element in this game, just doing his work. And even if you put Tian X out of this game, everybody was performing so well on the side of DMT.
Performing incredibly well, right? I mean, Gerald died once as well as L. The only blemishes on your team, and those are the guys that can die, right? The people that can't die are like Siri and Haku, and they died twice each. I mean, it's a lot, right? Especially when those are the guys, and the timing that they died made it even worse, where they fell further behind. And we'll see it in the gold graph, because NONGSHIM really had no answers after a while.
Yeah, it was really hard for NONGSHIM to even do anything this game. Even Haku had a hard time to make himself effective in that game. He was in front, yes, he was tanking a lot of damage, yes, but there was no follow-up. It was the lineup crumbles whenever Rattel doesn't get a Truth Mantra. Even if they get a good Truth Mantra, it crumbles right out of the bat.
Yeah, I mean, because the initiation on this squad is that Rattel was going in first, and generally speaking, you're only going to find one target, right? And they did, but then the rest of them come in where they're grouped up, NONGSHIM that is, and they completely crumble because of that. So Dharma is great, but he's better as like a secondary or a tertiary initiator.
I agree with you, because they needed something else. That's why I was saying when they drafted also the Soul Guy, the Ogren, whenever they engage, he was going forward in slow motion. And they needed something snappy when they go in, but they didn't have it. So that's why it was hard.
Yeah, incredibly tough. And plus, with like Illusion on the show, the pull, like that's never really going to happen, especially when you have like a Luna and they're the ones initiating, or they're going to throw a boat in your face. You're going to have a tough time, and you're kind of seeing just the impact that had happened. Tough, so just completely outclassing, as well as TNX here. just making it really difficult for Haku to get anything going.
Yeah, it was really hard. It was really tough for NONGSHIM REDFORCE. So Dominator just got what they wanted out of this draft. And that draft doesn't really even have a lot of like big picks on their side. The only big pick that I can think about is the Luna and the Refartado that they have here. And it's such a great economy for the global ban and pick.
True, true. Although the Zachao and of course the Lapu Lapu, I think that they're kind of getting there. They're not S tier, but they're definitely on the rise. And I think that you're seeing a lot of the value now. When they're in the right synergy, the right composition, they will shine and they will just make your life hell, as NONGSHIM experienced in that game 3 there.
Yeah. I want to see L get the MVP here because he was saving a lot of the members of DMT for most of the fights that we've seen here. L saved him like thrice. A lot of like 3 gank attempts in the farm lane. He saved them with a Raging Sea thrice. And it was crazy that he was able to get like multi-man Raging Seas again and again.
Definitely a lot of impact, and that's going to be where we'll see that. And it looks like it's going to be going that way, as it looks like the MVP is going to be none other. And of course, you've already no, they're going to go with Tufts. I mean, the Seafarer, Sansa, he made some serious plays as well, right? Let's be honest. Those boats were on point. It's very similar to L in that regard of just being able to save his teammates.
Yeah, the first blood came in from Seafarer himself, from Tufts, because they were able to get the boat in the mid lane and was able to traverse until they got to the farm lane a while ago. That started off things for DMT to just go forward and get the gears going.
The fact that he didn't die a single time.
There you go.
I mean, this is that moment, right? When that boat goes in, they go for the gank attempt. But the Raging Sea, that was nice as well from L. But this is where they get on top of it. But the boat finding it, Tuftsy, all by himself, going into 3, taking down Series single-handedly. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why he won MVP.
Yeah, I was surprised that he didn't die there. He was fighting against 3 people at the back, and nobody even was able to touch his HP that time. And this is what we were saying a while ago, right? The attempt from Mattel was good. The idea was there. But Jurl just popping the Meteor Storm is enough to stop everybody else from NONGSHIM from going forward.
And also, like, when you do go in, you want to be largely untouched. The fact that they had the boat, the Honey Sweet Breeze, as well as the Raging Sea, like, they're going to hit you, right? You're not going away. It's going to be the easiest CC ever because you're trying to get the jump onto one person. And that's pretty much, like, all you need at that point, where you really are too scared to initiate at that point because you can't really get into this lineup.
Yeah, great attempt for NONGSHIM REDFORCE. I believe that they still have that fight from game number 2, so he's still not done.